Geekdom. This is Chipmunk. We are back with another video. We are recording and showing off our top 10s. This is myself, and I'm here with Phantaki, and he is going to be showing off his top 10s with me, and we're going to be comparing and contrasting. Going to have introduce yourself to all the geeks out there.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the fandoms. To both ours and the Chipmunk here.
So subscribe.
How is everything been going for you?
Going well. So everyone subscribe to Phantaki. His description is going to be in the his info is going to be in the descriptions below. Check him out. Fantastic YouTuber, content creator. Love his channel. So yeah, this is going to be very, very fun, very enjoyable. So let's
Same thing with him.
Let's get into it. Right. So we're gonna go into honorable mentions. I have a few honorable mentions. I really did like this was difficult on the last bits. From I would say my top 9 to the honorable mentions were kind of difficult to pick out. But as far as my honorable mentions, I have Mr. Crockett, which was the Hulu movie on Hulu.
I've seen the trailer, but didn't get a chance to see it on Hulu. A lot of the Hulu movies I did not get to see this past year.
Not spectacular, but usually is okay for me. But I think Mr. Crockett, I like the actor. I think he did an excellent job. And yeah, I was like, it definitely was enjoyable. It's a lot of stuff that I wish they would have done better with the film. But I feel like the actors, the puppets, everything when it came to just bringing out some of the interesting and gore portions of the film were pretty good. It's just some of the story just didn't click too well. On my list, it was Abigail that came out earlier in 2024. I really did like, because I tend to try to go for vampire stuff and try to watch vampire stuff, and I think the actors did a great job. I kind of had a debate with somebody about some of the stuff with the actors, but I thought the actors did a great job for the film. But there was a little bit of hang-ups and stuff I didn't too much like with it. That's why it's in the honorable mentions more than it is like the exact top 10.
Dan Stevens, yeah, he was cast in that film, the actor, and he was in quite a few other films this year that he's going to be popping up on my list, I think, here also a bit. But yeah, he's played a lot of horror films this past 2024, I've noticed. Or these films within like some sort of horror category.
Next was In a Violent Nature. That one I know some people probably be surprised about a bit because I was like, after thinking about certain stuff, I'm not spoiling anything, but I was kind of disappointed with the ending of it. But I liked what they were trying to do with the film, because I was like, I like watching the whole film through so kind of like Michael Myers or Jason's eyes, their point of view of just trying to go through all the things. It was kind of, the pacing was kind of like off a bit for it, and some of the choices when it comes to I'm just say eliminating some of the characters in the film weren't the best choices, I think. But I did like the way they were trying to go about it.
Were the kills worth it in the film?
Some of them were pretty interesting. Some of them, especially, I'm not spoiling it again, but there was one on the cliff that was pretty unique.
Yep, I believe that one. I believe it's so gruesome that a lot of people were just it was overkill.
But I like some of those though. I think that's my favorite thing when it comes to just some of the slasher movies and stuff. When it comes to just interesting eliminations and stuff of characters, I tend to go for that. And Immaculate. I was like, I didn't mind Immaculate.
Yep.
That one was pretty entertaining. Out of all the horror movies, it's just like, because I said that at the beginning of the year when I was talking about upcoming horror films. I was like, there's a lot of nun movies.
Yeah,
it's a lot of nun
in
movies.
Recent years. Not kind of like the only ones I actually really enjoyed it were actually the Conjuring, demonic Valak nun.
But those are all my honorable mentions. Um, yeah, they didn't make the grade, but they still were entertaining enough. Number 10 is Alien Romulus. I liked Alien Romulus enough. It's not high on my list just because I felt like they did the aliens a little disservice by just how awful they were of killing the main character. I was like, if they had other stipulations,
Right.
I would have liked it, but I was like, it make them look so weak going against her. Because I was like,
Yeah,
they made too
Alien
many
Romulus.
mistakes.
That's interesting. That's wow. That's your number 10.
Mhm.
That mine. I guess I put it a little bit. It's more mid, I guess, for me in my list.
Yeah, it was entertaining though, and I tend to like Alien. I thought they didn't do a horrible job whatsoever. I thought it was good enough, but it's just I like the characters of like the aliens and stuff, and the same with Predator. And I was like, I'm always rooting more for
Yeah.
them to do to do better in the films and taking out people and stuff.
True.
So I'm always rooting more for them than I guess the main characters. But it was a lot of great and interesting shots, and I like some of the callbacks and them bringing back actors
True.
and
There's a lot of hidden stuff in the film.
mhm.
There's an Easter egg that not a lot of people know of. I don't know if you know of the Easter egg that the very big Easter egg.
Was it the one dealing with? Because it was a whole bunch. I was like, I can't. I don't think I'll be able to pinpoint it
Yeah, I think I'll bring that up when
on
I
yours.
bring up Alien Romulus.
But it's sadly enough number 10.
I mean,
uh,
it made your list, but hey.
yeah, it was a battle. It definitely was a battle. So it's like the last few were definitely a battle for me.
Yeah,
No,
I had to make some last minute changes myself.
number 9 is another like sci-fi horror for myself, and that one was A Quiet Place Day One. I know a lot of people didn't like it as much as I did, but I think it was more personal for me than it was the reason why I liked it so much. Just because of her and her dealing with cancer and everything and trying to fight through it, kind of remind me of my cousin who also passed away. Um, and just the struggle and stuff of just dealing with trying to do a whole bunch while fighting, and also
Right.
it's and I think that's the reason why it just jumps up higher. It's so high on my list, just because it's like I love the story of it, and some people didn't like I forgot his name, the male actor that's in it. Some people didn't like him in the film, but I was like, I didn't mind him.
Joseph Quinn?
I think that was his name. The one who just tried to rescue the cat in the crazy situation. I would have had to lift that cat during that. I don't know if you remember the moment where where the cat went onto the beams and the building, and he had to go and try to
Yep.
rescue it. I was like, I would have just left the cat. I don't know. I don't
Oh, that scene.
know.
That was an interesting scene. I'll have to I'll bring that one up.
I
That
was
was
like,
the most sci-fi scene out of like the three movies, I think, was like that one's just the background of it all.
mm,
Oh, the face to
intense.
face moments they have. I'm like, man, how is your like in not making a sound like right when it's just so close to you? It's like, dude.
Number 8 I have was Smile 2. Because I was like, I felt like this, it's just far as just things that's derived around like an artist and stuff, as far as just a movie and stuff goes. I think they did a way better job with displaying and showcasing than they did when it came to everything. But it still it still wasn't bad. It's like just both of them come out during the same year, and I was like, yeah, Smile was way better at displaying a lot of stuff that especially feels of an artist and what they were going through. I think she did an excellent job, and I don't know why, but I was like, yeah, she does remind me a lot of Lady Gaga, a lot.
Well, it was a bit, yeah.
But I was like, she did an excellent job with playing a role. Uh, it's a lot of things that I was like, I think that people don't know is as far as just how what artists and stuff go through when it comes to just in the pop genre. And I feel like they didn't give a lot, but they gave enough as just far as just how and what they deal with, and what kind of like psychological trauma that also can
Yeah,
bring.
definitely.
So I was like, I do applaud them for that.
Smile I would definitely think psychologically, and like that. It's more definitely like a psychological horror for sure. It's kind of like it follows in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the kind of entities that you just don't like the horror where it's like the psychological where you don't see the entity in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's there.
Always haunting you, no matter what. It still was enjoyable. I still liked it a lot though.
I mean, it's definitely an improvement over the first film a bit.
Oh yeah. My number 7 was the first Omen, um, which was surprising to me because I did actually enjoy the first Omen a lot, more than I thought I would. Because I was like, there was a lot of interesting stuff that they added to it, and then the callbacks for the Omen movie in previous.
Mhm.
So I was like, this being a prequel for that and everything of how everything just went down. I did like a lot of their decisions and decision making. That's why I was like, paying attention to the source material always works, and I think it would work very well in their favor for First Omen.
I'll say having them have Ralph Ineson as Father Brenner,
Mm-hmm.
uh, great act choice because first of all, the actor's been in recently Nosferatu
Mm-hmm.
and The Witch, whole bunch of the just a whole bunch of horror, like gothic type, like kind of. I guess I would consider like in a way films that deal with like convents and like nuns in a way almost like dealing with like a gothic setting sometimes. I guess.
Yeah, it is Nosferatu for me. Um, it just recently came out. That's the reason why we had to hold on to the trying
Yeah,
to put out the list
last
because I was like,
major.
cause that one was pretty entertaining and fun. I enjoyed it. I thought I like those period pieces too, and I think they do such an excellent
Oh,
job when it comes
definitely.
to all the actors and stuff when it comes to portraying like the old English and sounding, even though they're supposed to be in Germany, but English sounding and everything.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård did such an excellent job. I would have never thought that was him,
It does not
but
look like him, like at all. Like first of all, it's the special a mix of just both the special effects and the makeup artists. Like Count Orlok just does. First of all, I don't want to know if it's not that much of a spoiler, but I was not expecting facial hair. Like when he was speaking, he had like just a certain like roll of the tongue with like every word he said.
yeah, I was like, if I didn't know that that was Bill Skarsgård already, I would have never been able to tell from voice, everything. It's just so different from him, and I like that when it comes to actors that can just portray certain roles so well. And I was like, I feel like he's so underrated when it comes to that, playing these type of characters. That was them.
But he's definitely going to be eyed for an award or something, I bet.
He needs to. I was like, if he doesn't, I'll be very disappointed because he's
Like,
such a
this film
great
I heard was
actor.
just very mixed with the people because I work at a movie theater, and so hearing like people coming out of the rooms, and it's very mixed bag with people because it's not the film that they're just going into expecting just a normal vampire film, which
Hmm.
it's not.
Number 5, I had Cuckoo. And again, it's one of those movies that really shocked me when it comes to the story. I was not expecting it to go certain ways, and then just I
Oh,
love just thinking about the stories and where they were going with it, and then possibly without them explaining it, possibly who certain characters are and who they were to certain people. Because I was like, it's a lot that they didn't say, but it's a lot that they did imply that I did like.
There's only one thing I'm disappointed in, at least with the marketing, that the marketing
Yeah,
said about the film. I'll get into that because Cuckoo it's on my list. It's on my top 10 also.
yeah. The marketing was disappointing for it, and I think that's why I didn't. Um, like a lot of people weren't going to the theaters for it. I wish they just did a better job
Yeah.
with that. But it was, I would say, it was a really interesting and fun film. Next I had was Outside, but Outside was a post-apocalyptic horror horror film.
Okay.
It was a Philippines horror film. But yeah,
Philippines. Okay.
that one was pretty good because I liked the story of how they displayed the characters. It's another one that's very just character based with the story, but it's just basically like a father. He is trying to protect his family. Um, he takes his family to his parents' house, which his parents are both passed on during the movie. But he's trying to protect his family. Uh, there's zombies and stuff that's happening, or some type of infection to it, and he's doing his best to keep his family alive, but he goes kind of crazy trying to do that. And he doesn't want his family to leave, and they want to leave and all this other stuff, but he prevents them from leaving. And it's
Sounds a bit psychological.
yeah, it's psychological, and you have the stuff with the zombies and betrayal and all this stuff. There's a lot of dramatic stuff to it, and I was like, if you do it right, dramatic stuff can work so well in a horror film. And I think that's
Yeah.
a lot of things that I did like with it. It's just the characters, how they were in the film, and then again, like some of the unexpected moments, surprising moments, and that's just like I really do like those movies that just surprises you with every turn. And Outside was one I think was very surprising. Had number three was Terrifier 3. Interesting enough.
Nice. Three for
um,
three.
Terrifier 3 is just, I feel like it's in an element of its own. And if you like the type of movies that they do, you will enjoy it. Because I was like, I feel like it's just Terrifier is just Terrifier. And it's like, it's not going to be for everyone. And I understand it's not going to be for everyone. But Terrifier 3 to me is just entertaining and stuff that I do typically like, of just another like broad, like they're very bold and stuff with what they try to do. Very adult when it comes to a horror film. But they just seeing some of the stuff, the grotesque stuff and the gruesome stuff is always just going to be on point with them. And they did another heck of an excellent job when it comes to all the gruesome stuff, I think.
Do you think they upped it up from the second film, from the kills?
Yes, I would say yes, just because I feel like it was way more, and they were doing way more when it comes to kills. But I was like, I still don't think that they topped the one from the second one with old girl, when they made it to her house in the bathtub and everything. I was like, that one was crazy in part two. Number two, I have Strange Darling. That's another like big surprise. I think people don't usually pick as high. But it's another one where I like not knowing certain things and then being surprised at the end of how stuff just turns out. Because I love being shocked in the film. And they did an excellent job to me of just shocking. But I like Strange Darling a lot just because of the shots, the story, and the acting for it. Because I think a lot of the everyone did like a good job of it. And being not able to tell exactly who these people are in certain points of the movie until you actually see their personalities come out way later works really, really well. Because, yeah, that was just nothing but craziness after craziness after craziness when you just figuring out, oh my gosh, this is, they're doing what? Yeah.
I need to check that one out. I think Hulu just released that one on their streaming recently.
But it just depends on people's tastes, I believe. But I thought it was really entertaining. And my number one is
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
That one has been my top horror film since it came out. And I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to top it. And so far, it's like I thought Nosferatu was, and I was rooting for Nosferatu. the whole time. Made like a couple of videos on Nosferatu, so I was like, I was wanting this to be the big one for the year. And yeah, I still feel like Late Night with the Devil was more of a surprise than Nosferatu was when it comes to the story and everything that they were going for it. I thought they did very well when it came to the story, the actors. It's another one that is very surprising when it comes to figuring out what exactly is going on and what happened. I thought Possession. There you go. Out of Possession
Possession.
films, Possession films. It did. They did an excellent job when it comes to that. I thought because I definitely wasn't thinking that that was going to be the case when it comes to it. Um, but yeah, I think it was the best Possession film of the year.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting also because just the way they also combine it with just something that's so popular with America on like TV, like the late night shows.
Hmm.
Like imagine something like that with like Fallon or Kimmel or just something like that. That'd be insane.
Oh yeah. If you would have seen that on TV, you'd been like, "Oh my gosh!" I would definitely be watching Jimmy Fallon a lot more. If I seen something like that
Oh,
happen. I enjoyed that as far as just I would buy it, I would watch it all the time. It's one of the things I think was very, very good. It's as far as just a horror film of the year. But I always go for more of the stranger stuff and the more just ones that
okay.
people don't tend to go for as much.
Yeah, I
But
think
that
that's
is
definitely something for me this
mm,
year to watch more like indie films, less known films, for sure. Righty, yeah. So, as with my honorable mentions, at the bottom is The Watchers. Unfortunately, it is the first film, I believe, the directorial debut of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, who made a fantasy horror film that deals essentially with Irish fairies.
mm,
Which spoilers. This film, it had what it could go for, but I wish the creature designs were good. But I wish the actual creatures of the Watchers, these fairies, were shown much longer than what they were shown. It was very brief in a couple scenes, and then halfway through the film, we are out of the forest and in the city trying to figure out some more mystery stuff going on. And I feel like this film lacked in what it was trying to go for, especially with the marketing. The marketing it was very good, I thought, a bit, with at least how ominous the story looked. But overall film, to me, just make it that high up as I wish it could have. So it's just in my honorable mentions right there. And a lot of stuff going for the film, especially with Elle Fanning as like main.
mm. Yeah, I like the concept of the story, but
I wish
it's
there was a bit more to it.
yeah.
Yeah, Immaculate is on my honorable mentions also. This film had a good, I guess, concept of the type of horror they were trying to go for in a way. Right, yeah, Immaculate had a lot of good stuff going for it, especially with the slight little science stuff that was going on in the film, mixing with the religious genre of horror. Um, but I feel like the film in the end, especially the final scene, like it's all we're relying on shock or what we're to expect,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't get to really see a lot of things play out as I feel like the story could have for Immaculate. And this is a project that Sydney Sweeney herself like bought the story of and produced for like almost pretty much 10 years now. And I don't know if the final product is exactly what she was hoping for, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff lacking for this, especially with it being psychological horror, also, at least with what it's marketed as. It was very strange with doing the psychological stuff. And it not a lot of stuff really gets explained in the end either. It's just
Mm.
we're going along for the ride with her and her character. The very final moment, like what she does.
Definitely was missing a lot when it came to the story. I felt.
And then the last film I have on my honorable mentions is a film called Sting. It's a spider horror
Mm.
movie that came out. earlier this year. I saw it as like a mystery film in theaters. That a lot of some theaters do that, like just a mystery film. And this film had a good premise. I saw the trailer before I even saw it in theaters, but more sci-fi stuff, or I guess like the movie Infected or something. Came out on Shudder. Sting, like it started off like a pretty much like a sci-fi film because the alien, like the spider, it's an alien. There's things I feel like the story didn't continue off of that. It just turned into a normal spider film, like horror. And there's a lot of stuff that I wish gone further into, but I did enjoy the story of what they were doing in the end.
I think the
But
comedy
it
was
ended
good.
up at least in my honorable mentions. Yeah, but my top 10 horror of this past 2024, the bottom I have I saw the TV Glow. Um this film, it comes from A24 and it has Justice Smith as like the lead actor. This film had a good concept of it being a psychological horror and it pretty much being a horror that deals with reality. This film also I found out is a second film in a trilogy. The first film being called We All Go to the World's Fair, I believe. This film is like almost like a sequel, but not. But it's supposed to deal with a whole thing of weird reality, psychological horror. But this film, like, it made my top 10 just because of, I guess, the concept and I guess the visual storytelling. Made just number 10 because of Justice Smith's acting. I did not enjoy his acting in this movie at.
I think it's funny because it's a couple of projects that he's been in that people tend to not like his acting, and I think he's a certain
Like, this is
taste.
the first one that I did not actually enjoy. It was just the way he was, like, it's also, I guess, the way they made his character.
Hmm.
I was kind of mad about that, and it just was a little frustrating to watch him. But the story and everything else was very well done, I thought. But him, the way he would just this the acting was just off for some reason to me. At number 9, I have Maxine, which is a third final film in a trilogy for the X from Ty West, and this film unfortunately didn't make it higher. I'm one of my favorite slasher films is X, and for
Hmm.
this film to make it kind of low on my list is just a little disappointing for me. Like, I was hyping this film up all year long, um, just trying to get people to watch it. And this film just didn't have that same feel as the first two films, as X and Pearl. Maybe it's because we're not in the same like location as the first two films, and we're in a bigger area, more um bigger name cast, also like having Kevin Bacon, Giancarlo Esposito in it. But this film, just the way they did, so I guess it had to deal with the pacing, I guess, a bit also with this film. The pacing was a little off for me, and then the kills. I wish they did the kills a bit better, and then the whole reveal at the end could have been done more better.
Yeah, I thought I was so confused with the ending a bit
But
because of how comical it felt, and I felt like it was just supposed to be too comical. I'm guessing that they were going with and Maxine. It was like it just seemed too off to me.
that's how I felt. It just so it didn't. I don't know. I don't know if I had to deal with just it being definitely a different film than X and Pearl, but it didn't have that same formula taste that X and Pearl had. But it made it on my list just because Mia Goth, I get her acting was phenomenal
Mm.
in it. To give it that number 9 spot. I'll, I'll own that. But at number 8, this one kind of surprised me. I was thinking about putting this in honorable mentions, but it's Beetlejuice. I was never really a fan of like original Beetlejuice movie. Like, it was never something I was hyped up for. Like, this movie, I wasn't hyped up for too much either. I pretty much Jenna Ortega was the only thing that interested me in Willem Dafoe.
I like Beetlejuice, the first one. It's another like gothic one that I tend to just enjoy those kind of weirder films. But I was like, I didn't watch Beetlejuice because I wasn't planning on going to the theaters to watch it. But I do have it saved to watch. I was like, it was one of those things to where it's like they didn't really market it enough for me to care for it.
Like the actors in it, I thought were good casting, and just the song choices. Like Monica Bellucci's, she has this just one scene that was really good when they're introducing her, and like that's something I won't forget for like a movie theater experience. Number 7, I have Long Legs, which came from Neon this past year, which Nicolas Cage. Um, this film was a little interesting. I made like a little 3-part video series in a way, I guess, trying to review this movie, and if it's almost a little bit all over the place, but it's I had a really good time with this being like some sort of investigation, and just Nicolas Cage. I thought he was just wacky, just of a character just to see on screen with him. This film just though very interesting story. I thought with the marketing, I thought was phenomenal with the different
Mm.
little teasers. They coded almost very weird, but the film for me, I went and saw it with 2 other people, and it was very much of a blast. At least seeing with other people for sure, and being able to talk about it right afterwards. Because what a film! I thought right after seeing it, like I needed to talk about it with someone. So I'm glad I saw it with people. Um, but yeah, Long Legs was a very interesting one for it, and it's I was almost thinking about higher on my list, but thinking more on the story and just I guess also how the movie just ended. It just abruptly. Uh, um, it's just kind of a bit lower on my list at number 7, but I had a really, really good time with this one.
I think it's interesting with long legs because I had made a video on long legs before it came out, and it blew up for whatever reason it blew up for, and then the comments I got after the
Yeah,
movie
I saw
came
that
out
one.
were crazy because I was like I felt like the critics kind of ruined the mood for it, and I think for a lot of people, and that's what I was going for with the video that I was creating, because I was like they're hyping it up a little bit too much, and I was like instead of just how they're just displaying it in the critics and stuff talking about it, I was like they probably need to tone down a little bit because people are going to have an overly hyped viewpoint of it. And I think that's what kind of felt when it comes to a lot of the people who came to watch it because I think they had a bad score with the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of people flooded my comments with hate stuff
Mhm.
for it. And I was like, it wasn't a bad movie.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie for me. And I talked to somebody else about it as well, and I was like, it wasn't a bad movie. There were some choices that I wish they would have changed, but it wasn't a bad movie whatsoever. But I feel like it's way more hate on it than I think it needed to be. Because I was like, everyone I thought did a good job with the movie.
Definitely for like a movie experience and just like uh, a film that at least horror wise that at least I was able to hear people kind of wanting to talk about and see. I thought
Mm.
Long Legs was very well done, at least in certain well aspects. And then at number 6 on my list, I have the remake vampire movie of Salem's Lot actually on my list. This one kind of surprised me. I recently just maybe like a week ago I saw the trailer. Just forgot about this movie honestly being out, and just kind of prepared myself for like Nosferatu and everything. I saw Salem's Lot on Max. It was a Max original horror film, and just the concept of like vampires taking over a whole town was just it's something fun. I still haven't unfortunately seen the original film, and this is for a Stephen King story that Salem's Lot is. Um, but I thought the story and the I thought the acting was very well done in the film, and I love the casting that they did for it. Um, so I thought the casting helped the story a lot also with it. And then the vampire was interesting, almost Count Orlok like, but definitely different. But I will say the only criticism I have is the a bit of the CGI use on the vampire.
Mm.
But overall, the story honestly had some pretty good jump scares that got me, and just I thought it was pretty well produced. And at number 5 on my list is the Halle Berry horror film Never Let Go. This film I saw as a double feature with the film called The Substance, and the only time I would say I've ever seen did like a double feature like that. And what experience like seeing them back to back, like because different stories that they are. But Never Let Go being like a survival horror mixed with psychological stuff going on. Definitely a psychological horror film, I would say, more
Mm-hmm.
than it being survival. Um,
Yep.
but this film kind of keeps you guessing on what's really going on, and with Halle Berry's character and then the two boys and phenomenal acting from them. But this film, like, it kept you guessing on what's really going on, if there's really creatures in this world, and not and a little spoilers, I guess, but not until like the very last moment of this film, it's like it's either if it you can believe it or not, I guess, because of it being part of like still psychological stuff. But the way like it's pretty much like Halle Berry was kind of like right the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's shown like just the final, very final second of the film, and it's like wow. This whole time we're maybe thinking as we're going, maybe this is real. Oh, maybe this is not actually going on. But then just keeps switching it around and the plot twists. And this film just I thought did it very well with the cinematography and everything.
Yeah, that one was a pretty good film to me.
Yeah,
I want to say like some of the stuff is like I wanted to pinpoint down of what exactly how stuff came about, and I was like I think I stated it in my review of it. I was like there's moments that she talked about that I believe is how the thing came to the woods or whatever from the city, because I think that's what happened with it. And it's a lot of just interesting stuff with the film when it comes to the psychological stuff. That it's another one that just keeps you guessing and keep you wondering. And I like when a movie makes my brain work, and that's when they really did do that. Just as far as
yeah,
just how they were telling the story.
yeah. And I said props to all the actors in the film, like all everyone acting. Like at number 4, yes, is Alien Romulus. Alien
Sweet.
Romulus is like an interquel in between Alien and Aliens. And this film I was very skeptical at first on really wanting to see, because I wasn't really stoked about like a whole cast of like 20-year-olds for an
Mm.
Alien film. Um, but the overall end result, I wasn't dissatisfied at all. Like I really did enjoy how this film also tried to give a whole lot of little Easter eggs to us. A big one I will say is Ripley showing up in the film. If you did not know, the little shuttle that she is escapes on with Jonesy the cat at the end of the first movie shows up twice in Rum, pretty much confirming that Ripley was, or Sigourney Weaver's Ripley was the Renaissance space station in Romulus. And I thought that was an interesting little Easter egg. That but this film, the horror, I thought, as it tries to connect with the previous series, with like just the prequels, and trying to also being a story almost as also being in a way a sequel, an interquel with the Alien. The film just gave a lot of new things and a way of like just I don't want to say like claustrophobic, because but it's the limited time that they have to do all the stuff that they're doing before just pretty much impending doom. And of course having creatures on board, these aliens, that they're the ones pretty much responsible with unleashing upon themselves for better purposes, but that turns out tragic for them, sadly. Alien Romulus, though, like I thought is a good addition to the Alien series. You're just horror wise, like one of the best probably experiences I had in the theater. The cinematography, that one, I hope that film gets nominated for something.
Yeah, that one was a really really good one. It's been a good while since we've seen a good alien movie.
All right, and at my number 3, I have Cuckoo. This is a film with Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. Yeah, as pretty much the antagonist for this film. This film is a film that kind of tries to make you think it's a psychological film, but then it kind of turns into a weird, like almost creature feature, a little mix of all sorts. But the one thing I'm very mad about the marketing is the marketing said this film was supposed to be a bar, and there was very to little real like body horror, like stuff I would consider like body horror happening in this film. But I thought the music choice was very well done, and just from start to finish, like I was pulled into the film. Like I was not bored once, and just the whole suspense. The thing that got me the most that the marketing hid is distortions for whoever is hearing. Like that's something that threw me off in the film every time it was happening. That I was always like, oh, this film had some interesting things that they're doing, especially with it being from Neon. Like they've come out with a lot of interesting films. Like they're pretty much like
Hmm.
A24, or at least compete with their films, um, with like indie styleness.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of theories on Cuckoo, and then uh, I'm in my review video. I made a whole bunch of comparisons when it came to because I was calling it cuckoo with the cuckoo bird, and also how the definition and stuff works when it comes to the actual term that they're using. Uh, so I was like, it was very much interesting because I like comparing all of that into the film, and I thought they did an excellent job with just displaying that with um, what was happening with these creatures. I would say.
And at number 2 on my list, I have A Quiet Day 1. This film had me going. I was avoiding every type of spoiler I could for this film, every marketing except for like the trailer that I already reacted to for YouTube. And this film, I was on edge. My main thing for the cat not to die, essentially, is I'm always going for. I'm like, this cat bear, like this one thing that has to make it to the end of the film. And Lupita Nyong'o, her acting as just cancer patient, terminally ill, and in this world where now it's post-apocalyptic, and now she's a person who's very just spiteful on life, unfortunately, as her character is a little bit, and the only thing that gave her a little comfort is her cat, Frodo, which loved the Lord of the Rings reference there for the cat. Like this story just combining all these different things and having it being thrown at her. I know a lot of people praise the first part one, as just because of the actual suspense of, being quiet. But this one, I just, and then, her as this just dying woman in this city full of aliens, trying to just hold on to her cat and trying just to get a damn slice of pizza. Like this
She was
film
so
just had it
determined.
going for me, and really good experience. I saw it on TV, but uh, uh really good movie. I thought over the first two movies had me going, like I was tearing up. On my list, I have The Substance. The Substance for me, I saw as a double feature. I was saying to like go into after seeing like Never Let Go, because just the different genre and horror switching into. This film is supposed to be like a weird like combo of like Reanimator and just beauty standard films, mixing it with body horror, of course. Which the body horror, whew, that third act scene, gosh, if not mistaken, they beat the record for the most amount of blood used in a film, beating Evil Dead 2013 for the most amount of blood used in a film. This film just, wow, what an experience! A lot of interesting just stuff with it. Horror that deals with beauty and beauty standards. Coming out more recently, there's a new film that I saw you did a reaction not too long ago for, like a new
Oh
Shutter film coming out. That's
yeah,
uh
grafted.
yeah, just the way they did the film, the horror was very good when they were doing it and keeping it well done in between the normal, I guess. A lot of the film was a bit comedic also, I will say. Acting from Margaret Qualley Moore, and then Dennis Quaid was just a quack. Just what a wacky. I think there's only 2, 3 other people in the theater with me and my roommate when we saw this, and once those credits started rolling, they those people had some opinions on what they just saw. We enjoyed this film a lot, but I think I enjoyed this one way better, more. Uh, this don't think I would put as like my top film of 2024 of like all films, but definitely for horror, this is my definite like top film. Just the way they shot this film, and I don't know the studio too much who did it, but it's called like Mubi, and they have like a streaming service, which I guess the film did really good when it came out on streaming for that. But oh my gosh, just what a film! What a weird film. Hopefully it goes on DVD. I hope, and isn't just going to be on streaming or maybe a Criterion Collection or some sort of like. But yeah, this film made it for my top of the film, and interesting stuff.
It was on my top 10 at first. I did have to take it out. It was supposed to be part of the honorable mentions, but yeah, I did like it a lot, and I like those bold. It's another one that's like does a
24.
lot of bold choices. And I applaud it for that a lot, just because again, like you stated, it made it feel like the genre was new, even though it's like the body horror has been done, especially with like The Fly and stuff like that. When it comes to looks and characters of people changing into monsters or whatever.
I'm mad about.
But I thought they did an excellent job with it. It was some things that frustrated me a lot with the characters and stuff, but I think that was its purpose, was to frustrate people in certain points, get them angry on certain things, especially when it comes to the story of how they were just doing stuff. I was like, y'all just about to piss me off so much when it comes to swapping.
Oh,
But I think that was his
like
purpose. Just gonna compare Quiet Place. We both had Cuckoo, Alien Romulus.
then we both had Immaculate in our honorable mentions, apparently, also in that little mini list.
So I would say in comparison, I would say probably a Cuckoo would probably be number one for both of us out of everybody's just stuff of what we both liked, because I think Cuckoo made it pretty high for both of us.
And then interesting about like Immaculate, like we both kind of liked it, but just didn't make a certain feel for us.
Yeah, because I was like, it was entertaining enough, but it was just a lot that was not there for
Then
it.
yeah, not too bad for horror. I would say 2024 had.
Well, for everyone, again, check out Phantaki. Such a great YouTuber, content creator.
Everyone.
Fantastic collabing with you. I enjoyed the conversations and discussions of movies. Don't have that many people to have like good conversations and stuff when it comes to fandoms and geekdoms and stuff, and hopefully we can do another.
Everyone check out 170.
Alrighty. So that was the list of our top 10s for 2024. Again, check out all this stuff. Leave comments. If you like this video, please put a like on the video. If you'd like to subscribe, see some more reactions and other type videos, please do. Thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. I really do appreciate it. Please do take care of yourselves and each other. Peace of geekdom.